I need you to listen closely because there is a deadline coming up you cannot afford to miss. Billions of dollars have been donated to help American families, but there is a catch. Actually, there's like three catches. There's a lot of things people aren't telling you guys about this in the coverage I've seen. But what I want you to know for right now is that there are now two parts to this program, and the second part is entirely first come, first serve. So if you wait until you hear about this on the nightly news, it might be too late because there are only 25 million spots available for that bonus money. So I want to make sure that you have the chance to get on the list for this. So today we're going to tell you all the things you need to know about these Trump accounts that are rolling out next year. These are accounts that are offering between $250 to $1,000 for newborns and kids across America. So whether you've got kids or you've got grandkids or maybe just friends with kids, today we're going to talk about everything you need to know about the who, what, when, where, and how of this money. And as we go, I would love for you to drop a comment and let me know how you feel about this program. Do you support it? Do you wish it was helping another group like seniors? Please share your thoughts because our team does read every comment that we receive. And now let's dive into those details. First, let's make sure that we're all on the same page about what is happening here. The government, along with some very wealthy donors, are trying to create a safety net for the next generation, and they're calling these Trump accounts. Now, officially, this is part of the working families tax cuts, and the idea is to give every child in America a head start. Instead of starting their adult life with $0 or worse, debt, they want children to start with an investment account that's been growing hopefully for 18 years. Now, when this was first announced, it sounded like it was only going to be for babies born between January 1st of 2025 and December 31st of 2028. But that has changed. There is new guidance from the Treasury Department, and there has been a massive donation from the Dell family that is going to expand who is eligible for this help. So today we're going to cut through the noise, and we're going to talk about three things that people aren't really telling you about these accounts that you absolutely need to know. Thing number one, it's not just for newborns anymore. This is the biggest deal in this program right now. If you've been ignoring all of this because your kids or your grandkids aren't newborns, you need to pay attention. Because originally the government said they would give that $1,000 only to babies born between January 1st of 2025 and December 31st of 2028. That left a lot of kids out. But recently, the founders of Dell Computers, Michael and Susan Dell, stepped in. They donated over $6 billion to fix this gap. And because of their donation, children up to the age of 10 can now get a starting deposit of $250. But there are strict rules for this bonus money. First, the child must be age 10 or under and have a social security number. Second, the child must live in a zip code where the average income is under $150,000 a year. This is supposed to make sure that that money goes to the working families who need it the most. And third, this is why I said there was a deadline, this is limited to the first 25 million eligible children who claim it. Once those first 25 million spots are filled, that Dell money is gone and any other eligible kids aren't going to get this. But they also acknowledge that a lot of parents aren't going to know they have to claim it. So they said that if those 25 million accounts don't get claimed, they may increase the age limits so that older children can be eligible. And I have to be honest with you, that part kind of hits home for me and is a little bit complicated because my youngest is 11 now. And because he's 11, he misses that cutoff for this $250 bonus by just 1 year. That's a bummer, but it's okay because I'm excited for my friends who have younger kids and for those of you with kids or grandkids who are ages 10 and under. You have a chance to get them this money, but you have to be ready to claim it. So I need you to mark your calendar for July 4th of 2026 because that's when you'll have your first chance to open one of these accounts. You do have to fill out a form, and we're going to tell you about that a little bit later so that you can make this happen. But first, I want to talk to you about thing number 2 because this is not a check. In fact, this money is locked until the child is 18. And this is where a lot of people are getting confused because I'm seeing a lot of people asking questions on our videos and other videos saying, well, when will the check arrive in the mail? And the answer to that is unfortunately never. This is not a stimulus check. You can't just take this money and spend it at the grocery store next week. This is going to be an investment account. The official release actually says it's a new type of individual retirement account, or IRA. That means that this money is going into a locked account. By law, the money has to be invested in the American stock market, specifically in funds that track big companies like the S&P 500. The goal is to create compound interest because they want that $1,000 or that $250 to sit there and grow until that child is at least 18. If the stock market goes up over the next 15 to 20 years, then the money in the account can go up with it. Now, your child can access the money starting on January 1st of the calendar year in which they turn 18. The account follows the same rules that apply to distributions from a traditional IRA. So it can be used for things like higher education expenses, first-time home purchases, or starting a business. But other than that, it's an investment account meant to be used for retirement that can be withdrawn without a penalty after they're 59 and a half years old. If they decide to use the money for anything else, it looks like they're going to pay income tax on that balance, plus an extra 10% penalty to the IRS, which is pretty steep. So it's not as fluid as a lot of people would like you to think, and it's certainly not a stimulus check by any stretch of the imagination. But on the bright side, it's not just the government that can put money in either. This law allows people to contribute. You can contribute. Your employer can contribute. If you work for a company that participates, your employer can put $2,500 a year into this account for your child. And that money does not count toward your taxable income right now. So if you're interested, you can talk to your HR department about this for 2026. Because that's another thing people aren't talking about enough. You can't actually sign up for or make contributions to a Trump account before July 4th of 2026. So be mindful of that. And that brings us to thing number 3, which is extremely important, and I cannot overstate this enough. You have to file paperwork for this. It is not automatic. The only way to get this $1,000 government deposit for your new baby or the $250 deposit for your older child is to file some forms. Okay, the parents must file IRS Form 4547, and you will do this when you file your taxes. If you don't file your taxes, you're going to need to look, maybe talk to a VITA volunteer or figure out how to do this form, because I did not see in any requirements that the parent has to be a taxpayer, only that the child needs to be eligible. So if you are a household that does not file taxes, we'll continue to look for that guidance for you, but also I would reach out to a VITA volunteer, look at the IRS website, see if you can get some more information on that, because that's an important thing that I don't want you to miss out on. So to recap there, this money is coming. It is mostly for babies born starting in 2025 and now for kids up to age 10 thanks to this new donation. But you have to sign up and you have to wait for that money to grow. It's not something that's going to help you next year or even in the next couple of years. So please do not miss out on this opportunity. I know that this is huge for so many. It's going to give a lot of kids a great start. Now, along with that, I told you we have to figure out how this works for families who don't file taxes. We also need to watch and see how many of those accounts are claimed and if they raise the age limits, or they're also trying to get other people to donate like the Dells did. So we will continue monitoring this news. So make sure you go to the URL over there in red, go to that website and sign up for our email list so that you don't miss any of those updates as we find more information on this. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to leave a comment about whether or not you support this plan. And if you need a little bit of a financial boost in the short term, our sponsor Free Cash has an amazing app where they will pay you to play games, take surveys, and more. It's certainly not the same amount of value that you'd get from one of these accounts, but it can help you in the short term. So be sure to check that out if you're interested, and we'll be back soon with more ways that you can save money and get free stuff.